So I asked you guys, my audience, which video series you'd like to see next. And you were all sadistic and decided you wanted me to suffer through a sphere grid randomizer. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Alright, first things first. Time to lay down some ground rules for this challenge. These must be followed to successfully complete the challenge. 1. I must beat the final boss of the game. 2. Standard sphere grid only, and as such, only the character's original designated path is allowed. 3. Specialized spheres are outlawed. No skill spheres, black magic spheres, etc. Stat boosting spheres are fair game. And 4. Customization is allowed. And finally, 5. Other than the aforementioned rules, I can use any strategies I need to attempt a game clear. Now, with that out of the way, I'm Rez. Welcome to the time stream, and let's go! We begin our game with our titular protagonist, Titus. Or is it Titus? Fuck it, we're naming him Time. Now our crybaby Time thinks he's real hot shit and all the ladies want him. His life is like totes perfect, aside from the dead parents. But he's a star sports player, so that totally makes up for it. Now the randomized file starts a little after the beginning of the game due to technical reasons, so I'll speedrun the beginning. Time walks out. All of his biggest stands are waiting there for him to inflate his ego. He poorly flirts, makes promises he can't keep to kids, and plays his game, which is really interrupted by a giant whale-looking creature named Sin. His city go boom, he meets up with Old Man Edge, aka Orin, and they hightail it out of there. They're then surrounded by what I like to describe as alien chickens, and Old Man Edge shows off his demolition skills and blows up the bridge they're on, because fuck self-preservation. Side note, while writing my notes for this video, my writing software tried to autocorrect Orin to Sauron, and I laughed way harder than I probably should have at that. Anyways, Old Man Edge and Time are sucked into a giant whale vacuum that looks something else like I'm not going to talk about. Time then wakes up wet, after a weird dream he had. He's wet because he's in water. Get your mind out of the gutter. Time grabs treasure as he goes. I'm just imagining him finding chests of old useless junk like sweaters and shit. Time makes his way down the path in front of him where he comes across a weird fish circus. They try and show him their routine but end up knocking him into the water on accident. This enrages the ringmaster so much that he comes out and eats some of the fish and then tries to eat Time as well, but only manages to yell at him as Time is blasted into an abandoned temple area. Time, knowing he's trapped, does the right thing and wants to start a fire first. He finds more old things in chests and materials to start a fire. Materials that are totally wet. There's no way he could possibly start a fire with the... Never mind. I stayed corrected. With the power of JRPG magic, he somehow started a fire, but his fun is only just beginning. As he said,
I had made it out of the frying pan and into the freezer.
An eldritch horror straight out of the Appalachian Mountains attacks Time, and he fights for his life before being saved by a masked blonde woman and her entourage. They finish the fight, and the woman, thinking that Time is trying to flirt with her, gets upset and punches the fuck out of his stomach. He wakes up on a ship surrounded by scary buff men and is informed by the blonde woman, who didn't feel the need to tell Time that she could speak the common language, that if he helps them, he can stay on the boat. So Time and the woman jump into the water with our somehow infinite time limit on holding our breath. Speedrun time. We activate some old airship underwater, fight some tentacle hentai monster. Time finds out he was transported 1,000 years in time, supposedly through the giant whale vortex. Then they are attacked by said whale. Time is knocked off the ship and instead of drowning, wakes up on a random shore where a ball gets thrown really hard at his head to wake him up. He meets Waka, who tries to convince him that he got too close to the whale toxin, and that's why his head is all fuzzy. Not at all because Waka hit him really hard with a ball. Time isn't really buying that story, so Waka shoves him off a cliffside, hoping to hide any evidence of his crime. Unfortunately for him, he fails. Time lives, so he plays it off like he was joking. They make it to the village, where Time collects more treasures and visits the temple where more people try to convince him he got too close to whale toxin. Afterwards, he went to Waka's hut to lay down because his head hurt. He woke up after hearing a conversation about a summoner in danger in the Cloister of Trials. He goes to help, and the temple priest tries to stop him, citing some stuff about sacrilege, and he can't do that. But Time is a sinner, though, through and through, and says fuck that. After some very easy puzzles, Time meets up with Waka again and they descend in the elevator. Time is then greeted by a dominatrix and a giant blue kimchi, aka Lulu and Kamari. The dominatrix gets mad, and after some arguing, the summoner comes out of the cloister and Time is immediately distracted because pretty woman. They make their way outside to see Yuna summon a bird creature and then send it off. They have a bonfire campout type deal to celebrate with chanting men, a nosy waka, and old and young people that hate Time. Time and Yuna speak. Yuna mentions them being on the same boat and how she would love to hear about his hometown Xanarkand, since she believes for some reason when no one else does that it exists. Time goes to bed and wakes up after a nightmare to hear Lulu and Waka arguing. Time and Waka talk. Time goes to bed. Waka gives Time his dead brother's sword in the morning. Then Time, Yuna, Waka, and Lulu all leave on their journey, waving goodbye. They make their way down the path when suddenly Time is attacked by a giant, blue, ferocious kimchi. They fight. He leaves. The other members laugh it off. You do some tutorial shit, rob these poor people of their belongings, and then we head out on the boat to go to Kilika. And that's where we ended. No, real talk. This is my favorite game of all time. I love the characters, the setting, the story, the music, literally everything about it I adore, so any jokes I made are all meant to be in good fun and to keep things moving forward in a lighthearted way during the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, like, and comment for more. Let me know what your favorite Final Fantasy is in the comments below. Have a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I will see you next week. See you for the next video. Love you guys!